name is Marco Stevens. I'm with Dash Carolina, and I've been doing it for about 4 years now. I was actually in the hospitality business. So I was managing hotels. I did that for the last about 20 years before getting into real estate. Well, after kind of going through the process myself, my wife and I purchased a house. And I kind of saw how the process went, and we wanted to buy more real estate. And I was like, oh, I mean, not that our real estate agent wasn't good, but I kind of realized we could have had more guidance. We could have been helped along the way a little bit more. So I was like, if I was ever in this position, I'd probably make it a little bit more seamless for people versus just kind of finding out a lot of surprises. Well, when I first got there, really, because obviously seeing the confidence and some of the other agents that were there, I mean, they were coming in, they were going to work right away, they were on calls. I was like, wow, I mean, am I going to be ready to handle all this? Obviously, I was in a busy environment, so I was used to dealing with a lot, but I didn't know how it would feel in the real estate realm of things. So it was just like, am I going to be able to handle everything? Just seeing everybody around me, the calm, cool, and collective attitudes of some of the top performing agents. I'd say Guardsy. I kind of leaned on him for a lot. I mean, he was in that role where he was kind of mentoring us in the training at the time. He's obviously switched roles since then, but just his confidence and ability to speak and kind of win clients over, but also really know his shit, which is really, what kind of leaned me more towards him than anybody else. Cause I was like, I felt like I had that confidence, but I was like, how do I deliver it? And then just the wealth of knowledge. If I ever needed something, he just kind of knew how to explain different scenarios. Pretty early on, I got busy fast. After I kind of let myself go through training for a little bit, I stayed focused on that without focusing too much on how it would be, just learning everything and knowing how to get comfortable with the systems. Because I was like, if I'm out there and I'm not confident with the systems, then everything else is going to kind of fall by the wayside. So I was like, let me just get really comfortable with that. And then when I get out there, let's just kind of see how it goes. But, once I started talking to clients, they felt like I was a professional. They felt like I was doing it for years. And not that I told them that, but just based off the way I was kind of presenting myself and then leaning on Dash and their expertise and, a lot of things that they've done, their accolades. So once they started trusting me on that, I was like, wow, once I kind of build my resume up a little bit, then I can lean on that and also kind of lean on my own accolades. Honestly, the reviews, like I said, coming from hospitality, we lived and died by reviews. Reviews were key because people didn't like where they were staying. It obviously reflected not just the company I was working for, but even the brand that we were representing. So that's the first thing I looked at. I started looking at companies like who had the highest reviews. Everybody's gonna say they're the best in town, but what are the clients saying? Because if the client's saying one thing, then I obviously kind of know, and Dash just kind of blew me away with their reviews. Just the support and the technology, because I could be super busy, but still be able to lean on the fact that someone's at the office that I can reach out to, that could get, a report done for me if I need it done fast. Obviously if I need to get an offer put together, they could lean in and help me with that as well. That way I can continue to be on the road and still look like a professional with other clients, because that's the biggest thing, getting overwhelmed. Like, how do I take care of this client, but I also got this going on too? And just being cool with all your clients so they all feel like, you're always calm and cool and in charge of things that are going on. So that side of things is really what helped me a lot with Dash. Well, just knowing that if I'm any other way, things won't be better. So I kind of tell myself that. I'm like, if I'm calm, cool, and collected, like that's the best situation to be in. But then also I still have to execute, right? So just knowing that if I'm that way, I'll be able to execute with a clear mind. And sometimes you just have to stop and think for a minute and then realize the big picture, and also just analyze what's going on so you can be ahead of any pitfalls that could be ahead. I would say I was working with a client early on, and they were at a higher price point than I dealt with. They were very headfast on what they wanted to spend and where they wanted to be. And, that's what we push at Dash, right? We want people to be pro-choice, and we want to make sure that they have all the reins to do what they need to do. But at the same time, we need to educate them. And sometimes educating them can be a little uncomfortable. And I kind of got exposed to that feeling with these particular clients just because they wanted to go at a certain price, and I kind of probably knew that that price wasn't going to win based on the circumstances that we were dealing with. And not to tell them it wasn't going to win, but just giving them a little bit more advice on the market data and then kind of the circumstances, and saying, hey, I understand where you want to go, but I know you really want this house, so this is what it may take to really win. And the reason it kind of stung me was because after we lost to another offer, of course they were like, oh, we would have went higher. So I was like, I will never make that mistake again. Like, I'll make sure if my clients want to go higher, I'll know. And if they don't, that's fine. At least, they'll be able to sleep at night knowing that they were at a comfortable point to stop, versus me kind of just saying, oh, it's just all up to you, because I'm not really providing them the guidance that they really need from an agent. Don't get worried once you do run into a little rut, because it took a while to get there. And I'm not saying I've ever ran into a big rut, but as soon as I got there, I was like, oh wow, how's this gonna feel? Because when you're used to rolling and contracts are coming in, you're like, oh, this is the new thing. Like, I'm just gonna be doing this all the time. But then the market will kind of smack you, and then you get the reality of things can change up. No matter how good you are in this business, you can go into a little lull. So you have to just kind of have that patience and understand that things are gonna be all right. I think back then I would get a little agitated if I wasn't operating at that same level all the time. I got too used to it to where if I didn't have it, I felt like something was wrong. So just knowing, hey, if you're doing that, you obviously have the ability to continue to do that. So just continue your process and keep doing what you're doing, and then the business will come. I mean, because you need the biggest foundation ever. I mean, anything, right, to really start off and grow. So Dash gives you that strong foundation. And that was the biggest thing I was looking for coming into real estate, because you can get thrown into a lot of firms. You're going to see a lot of top agents, and you're going to get intimidated fast. And you're going to be like, wow, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. So being somewhere where those agents are actually helpful and actually there and available to talk to you. Like in Dash, you can go there at any point, and there's top performing agents walking around. They will talk to you. They'll give you advice if you have different scenarios. And just knowing you could pick apart the brains of different people that operate in different ways, and then kind of make it your own style. That's another thing I like about Dash. Like, I'm able to be me, versus come in and say, hey, I need to be like this other agent, based on how they dress or how they act. Granted, everybody has a different opinion on what's professional and what's not. But the main thing is really being able to, do your job the right way, providing the right advice, and then being an advocate for your clients. And if you win clients over and they love you, and whatever way you do that, then that's how you win, right? So we all abide by the same laws. We all abide by the same rules, basically. So it's just all having your own spin on things and figuring out what works for you.